Our story today begins in the cool embrace of an ancient monastery. The walls are tall, built of pale stone, warmed by centuries of sun and cooled by countless nights. Beyond the wooden doors lies a cloister in open square, encircled by arcades, where arches rise gracefully, sheltering soft pathways. In the very heart of this sacred courtyard, a fountain flows. The water rises gently, not with force, but with serenity. It bubbles over smooth stone, its voice steady and unhurried. Listen now, as if you are seated upon one of the carved benches that rest in the shadow of the arcade. The sound of water greets you like a soft whisper, a reminder to breathe, too slow to be. Cloisters were designed as spaces for quiet meditation. The monks who once walked here carried no burdens but prayer and silence. They would circle the fountain in steady rhythm, each step matching the flow of their breath. You too may walk here in imagination, your pace calm, your body light, your lungs filling and emptying, like the gentle rise and fall of the bubbling spring. Breathe in, with the water as it rises. Breathe out, as the water falls back again. In and out. Rhythm, as natural as the fountain's eternal song. Around you, the garden breathes with life. A fig tree bends gracefully, its leaves broad, casting shifting shadows across the stones. Lavender blooms at the edges, their fragrance softening the air. A breeze stirs, not strong, but enough to rustle the leaves, to ripple across the surface of the pool. That breeze brushes your skin, cool and tender, carrying with it the promise of peace. The monks believed the cloister was a reflection of heaven on earth, a place of stillness, where the mind could turn inward and the soul could listen. Tonight, this cloister belongs to you. The arches protect you, the fountain soothes you, the breeze wraps around you like a gentle cloak. You are safe here. You are calm here. You are allowed to rest here. Let the sound of water lull you deeper into comfort, as the garden fountain continues its endless tender song. As you settle more deeply into this cloistered space, notice how time itself begins to slow. The sky above, framed by the arcades, has softened into twilight. The sun's final rays spill across the stones, turning them golden for just a moment before slipping into cool shades of blue. Candles set along the walls flicker softly, their flames bowing to the night's first breath. You sit near the fountain now. Imagine the smoothness of the stone beneath your fingers, worn by centuries of hands that rested here before you. The water continues its quiet, rhythmic bubbling, never hurried, never strained. Its voice is steady as though it has always been and always will be. With every sound of water falling back into the basin, allow your thoughts to fall away too. Imagine each droplet carrying with it a worry, a stray thought, a memory of the day. One by one, they are released. They ripple across the surface, fade, and disappear into calm. Close your eyes for a moment, if you wish. Hear the garden more clearly. The chirp of a nightbird in the distance. The gentle rustling of lavender touched by wind. The faint echo of sandals upon the cloister walk, though the monk you imagine soon passes into silence, leaving only stillness behind. The cloister was not just stone and water, it was a rhythm of life. Monks rose before dawn, prayed, studied, and walked these paths in quiet contemplation. This space was designed to cradle the soul, to invite one inward. Tonight, it serves you in the same way. You have no task but to breathe with the fountain, to let your body align with its serenity. Breathe in, steady and calm, as though drawing from the cool, fresh water itself. Breathe out, slow and complete, releasing everything that is not needed. Again, in and out. Your chest rises and falls with the same gentle certainty as the fountain's bubbling rhythm. The stars begin to awaken above the courtyard now. Their reflections shimmer faintly in the water, turning the fountain into a mirror of the heavens. You are both grounded here upon stone and lifted upward toward infinite sky. In this cloistered garden, you are at peace. You are present. You are deeply, beautifully still. Notice now how the air cools as night settles more fully upon the monastery. The warmth of the day has drifted away, leaving behind a freshness that brushes gently across your cheeks. The cloister arches hold the night close, wrapping the courtyard in a tender embrace. The fountain continues, unwavering, each ripple carrying a soft promise of calm. Imagine yourself walking slowly around the edges of the garden, your steps light, your breath matching the rhythm of water. Each archway you pass seems like a gateway, leading deeper into rest, deeper into peace. Your hands trail across the cool stone of the walls, feeling their solid presence, their quiet strength. These stones have witnessed centuries of silence, centuries of prayers whispered into their surface. They hold the weight of time, and yet they do not burden you, they comfort you. You pause before a patch of lavender near the fountain. Its scent rises softly as you breathe in, a fragrance both soothing and grounding. The monks tended these gardens not for beauty alone, but for balance, for plants that healed, calmed, and carried meaning. Tonight, this garden tends to you. With every inhale, lavender eases your thoughts, wrapping them in softness. With every exhale, tension loosens, leaving you lighter, more at ease. Listen once more to the fountain. The water rises, then falls again and again, unending. It mirrors the breath within you, rising, falling, filling, releasing. The fountain reminds you that nothing needs to be forced, everything flows. Above, the stars scatter more brightly now, like tiny candles across the night sky.
Ow.
Their light dances in the surface of the pool, shimmering each time a drop of water falls and ripples outward. You might imagine those ripples extending into your own body, spreading calm through your chest, your arms, your legs, until even the tips of your fingers feel soothed. The cloistered garden was built for this stillness, reflection, renewal. As you stand within it now, you are part of that same tradition. The silence is not empty, it is full. Full of water's song, the earth's breath, the night sky, and your own peaceful heart. Stay here a while longer. Let the fountain guide you. Let the quiet deepen. Let rest come to you as naturally as water flowing home to its basin. Now, as you sit once more near the fountain's edge, notice how the rhythm of the courtyard has become your own. The bubbling of water is no longer separated. It feels as though it breathes with you, a companion in calmness. Every drop that falls seems to whisper a lullaby, and every ripple stretches outward like a sigh of relief. The monks who once gathered here often described the fountain as the very heart of the cloister. It was not simply stone and water, it was a pulse, a reminder of life flowing quietly, even in silence. They believed that the fountain represented the soul's journey, always moving, yet always returning, just as water circles back into its basin. Tonight, that same rhythm becomes your rhythm. You, too, are always flowing, always returning, always whole. Imagine yourself dipping your fingers lightly into the cool water. The sensation is delicate, cleansing, almost timeless. Tiny circles spread outward from your touch, soft and glimmering beneath the stars. As those circles widen, feel calm widening in you as well, reaching every part of your being. The sound of night deepens. From beyond the cloister walls comes the soft murmur of distant crickets, their song weaving with the fountain's melody. Together, they form a tapestry of sound, gentle, steady, comforting. A breeze stirs again, brushing through the fig tree, rustling leaves with a hushed music that feels like a secret meant only for you. Breathing in, you fill yourself with the cool night air, clean and still. Breathing out, you release any last remnants of strain, letting them dissolve into the courtyard shadows. Again, in, calm and clear, and out. Lighter, freer, softer. The cloister arches stand strong around you, their stone pillars holding the quiet of centuries. Yet, within their embrace, there is no heaviness. Instead, there is safety, like the arms of a guardian protecting your rest. You belong here, beneath the arches, beside the fountain, beneath the stars. Allow yourself to lean back now, whether on the bench of stone or simply in the cradle of imagination. The fountain's voice is steady, endless, like a song the earth has always known. It will keep singing as you drift deeper into tranquility. Here, in this cloistered garden, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, only peace. Settle once more into the rhythm of the fountain. Hear its voice, soft, steady, unchanging. Notice how each bubbling note feels like a gentle hand upon your shoulder, a reminder that you are safe, you are cared for, you are allowed to rest. The cloister was designed not just for beauty, but for balance. The four walls around the garden created a square, a symbol of harmony, of the world made whole. At the center, the fountain, always flowing, represented the eternal source of life. The monks believed that by simply being in this place, by walking its paths, breathing its air, listening to its waters, the soul could align with peace. And you, too, are now part of that same ancient practice, lining, softening, returning to stillness. Look at the water's surface in your imagination. By candlelight, it shimmers like liquid gold. By starlight, it gleams like a mirror to the heavens. Each drop that falls sends ripples outward, delicate rings that remind you of your breath, of your heartbeat, of your presence in this moment. Nothing else is required, simply being here is enough. A gentle breeze drifts once more through the courtyard. It brushes past the lavender, carrying its fragrance toward you. Let that scent guide your breathing, soft, floral, calming. With every inhale, you take in peace. With every exhale, you let go of the day. Slowly, gently, effortlessly. In the distance, perhaps, you hear the faintest sound, the turning of a page. Somewhere within the monastery walls, a monk reads by candlelight, his world as quiet as yours. That sounds subtle, delicate, reminds you that life here is woven of simple, tender moments. Water flowing, leaves stirring, pages turning. And within it all, silence that is never empty, but always full. Imagine now, placing your hand over your chest. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath, steady as the fountain's rhythm. You are part of this cloister, part of its timeless song. You are the quiet, you are the calm, you are the stillness. The fountain continues, never hurried, never weary, an eternal companion. Its voice will carry you deeper, guiding you softly into rest, until even your thoughts begin to drift like ripples across the water, fading, softening, disappearing into peace. Let yourself sink even further into the calm of this cloistered space. The night has grown deeper now, and the sky above the courtyard has turned a velvety black, dotted with stars that seem to shimmer in harmony with the fountain's rippling surface. You are cradled here by stone, by silence, by the timeless song of water. The fountain bubbles gently, endlessly. Each rise and fall of its voice is like the breath of the earth itself, steady and reassuring. Listen closely. The sound is not loud, not sharp, but soft. Like a secret whispered only to those who pause long enough to hear. That secret is peace. That secret is stillness. That secret is yours. You shift slightly upon the stone bench, feeling the smoothness beneath you. These benches have held countless souls before you, each one coming here to seek what you are finding now. Rest, refuge, release. The walls of the cloister rise around you, tall and strong, not to imprison, but to shelter. You are safe in their embrace, shielded from the noise of the world beyond. Take another slow breath in. Imagine the cool night air filling your lungs, as clear and pure as the fountain's waters. Hold it for just a moment, and then let it flow out again, carrying with it any weight that lingers. Again, in. Cool, fresh, calm, and out. Softer, lighter, free. In the garden, the lavender glows faintly in the starlight. Its purple blossoms a quiet comfort. A fig leaf stirs as the breeze passes, making a gentle sound, like the turning of silk. Every detail of this garden was chosen to soothe, not just the eyes, but the soul. Tonight those details serve you. The air, the fragrance, the sound, the silence, they are all part of your rest. The monks often described the cloister as a circle of heaven placed upon the earth. They believed that here, beneath the open sky, among arches and stone, one could touch eternity through stillness. Feel that truth as you sit by the fountain now. The water flows as it did for them, the stars shine as they always have, and your breath joins this eternal rhythm. Here in this cloistered garden, you are part of something timeless. And in that timelessness, you are free to rest, free to let go, free to dream. Feel the night deepen, wrapping itself around you like a soft cloak. The quiet here is not empty, it is full, alive with gentle sounds that weave together into a tapestry of calm. The bubbling of the fountain, faint whisper of leaves moving against the breeze. The soft call of an owl, distant but reassuring, reminding you that you are not alone, that life flows peacefully even in the darkest hours. The fountain remains steady, its rhythm unwavering. Notice how its sound never grows harsh. never changes to demand attention. Instead, it invites you to follow its cadence, invites you to let your breath join its flow. Inhale. Hear as the water rises. Exhale, as the droplets fall back again. In and out. A perfect, unbroken circle, soothing every corner of your body. As you continue to breathe with the fountain, picture the water not only in the basin before you, but within yourself. Imagine your breath as a fountain of calm, flowing endlessly, bringing renewal with each rise, each fall. You are the fountain, steady, eternal, at peace. The garden itself seems to glow faintly under starlight. The lavender bushes sway gently, releasing their fragrance into the air. The scent lingers around you, weaving calm into your very thoughts. Close your eyes and feel its soft, herbal, grounding, guiding you deeper into rest. Beyond the arches, the stone walkways gleam faintly in the light of the moon. Their surface, worn smooth by centuries of quiet footsteps, seems to echo with memory. Pilgrims, monks, travelers all have walked here, seeking silence, seeking solace, seeking what you now hold in your heart. This cloister is a sanctuary, and tonight it is yours. Imagine now leaning closer to the fountain, listening as if it were whispering directly to you. Each bubble, each drop, carries a message. You are safe, you are calm, you are home in this moment. Let those words sink into you, deeper than thought, deeper than words, into a place of pure knowing. The water continues, eternal and soothing. You rest beside it, letting its song carry you inward, toward stillness, toward peace, toward gentle sleep. Here, under the arches, beside the fountain, beneath the stars, you are whole. You are held, you are free. The night has reached its stillest hour now, a time when the world seems to pause and listen. The courtyard rests in shadow, and yet the fountain shines faintly, silvered by the moonlight. The water glimmers as it rises, then falls, each droplet catching the light like a star before dissolving back into the pool. You sit with ease, your body growing lighter, your breath slower, your mind quieter. There is no rush here. No need to think or plan. The fountain does not hurry, and neither do you. Its rhythm becomes your rhythm. Its calm becomes your calm. Listen closely. Beneath the bubbling of water, there is a faint echo, a soft clinking, the sound of droplets touching stone. That sound is steady, unchanging, ancient. It has echoed in this courtyard for generations. Tonight it echoes for you. Each sound falls gently into your ears like a lullaby, guiding you deeper into relaxation. The garden seems alive with subtle presence. A moth drifts across the courtyard, its wings barely whispering as it flutters near the lavender. Somewhere beyond the wall, a nightingale sings, its melody low and sweet, joining the fountain's eternal music. Together, they form a harmony that feels designed to ease you into sleep. Inhale now, gently, deeply, as though you are breathing in the starlight itself. Let it fill you with stillness, with serenity. Exhale, slowly, softly, releasing everything that weighs you down. Again, in pure and calm, and out, soft and free. The monks who once tended this fountain believed that water was not only for the body, but for the soul. Just as water cleansed the hands, it also washed the heart, cleared the mind, renewed the spirit. Tonight, imagine that the fountain is cleansing you as well. With each sound of water falling, a layer of worry is washed away. With each ripple, a new calm spreads within you. You are not only beside the fountain, you are part of it, flowing, circling, renewing, eternal. The courtyard holds you in silence, and the fountain carries you deeper into peace. Stay here, in the heart of stillness, where every sound is gentle, every breath is ease, and every moment is rest. The courtyard is hushed now, wrapped fully in the blanket of midnight. Above, the stars glow brighter, no longer softened by twilight, but shimmering boldly in the clear night sky. Their light reflects upon the fountain's surface, turning each ripple into a moving constellation. You sit and watch as the stars seem to dance upon the water, endlessly flowing, endlessly shifting. The fountain continues its song, bubbling upward, then falling with a soft clink against the stone. Over and over, steady and soothing, never ceasing. Let this sound guide you deeper. Imagine it brushing gently against your thoughts, smoothing their edges, calming their restlessness, until they drift like feathers on a quiet stream. Take a breath in, slow, deep, and effortless. Feel how it fills not only your lungs, but your whole body with calm. Breathe out. Let that calm settle more deeply, washing through your shoulders, down your arms, into your fingertips. Again, in cool, fresh, still, out, soft, quiet, complete. The cloister around you feels alive with presence, though no one else is here. The stone arches hold the night like guardians, strong yet gentle, cradling the courtyard in their embrace. The garden beds rest quietly, lavender bending slightly under the weight of dew. The fig tree's leaves stir once more in the breeze, creating a soft rustle like whispered prayers. Every detail of this space reminds you that you are safe, you are sheltered, you are held. The monks believed that the cloister mirrored paradise, and in this moment, you feel why. There is no striving here, no burdens, only flow. Time itself seems to have softened, no rush forward, no pulling back. Only now, only this fountain, only this breath. Lean closer in your imagination, listening even more deeply to the water. Each bubble feels like a heartbeat, each ripple feels like a sigh. The fountain is not simply outside of you, it's within you. Its calm belongs to you. Its stillness is your stillness. Its eternity is your rest. Allow yourself to rest here fully. Allow the fountain to hold you in its endless rhythm. You are safe. You are calm. You are whole. Now, as you settle more deeply into this cloistered space, imagine the sound of the fountain not only reaching your ears, but also moving through your entire body. Each drop of water feels like a gentle note in a lullaby, flowing in harmony with your heartbeat. The sound rises and falls like a soft chant carried on the night air, reminding you of rhythms far older than yourself, rhythms that have flowed through centuries of quiet meditation. Our story today continues as the night deepens, and the courtyard becomes a sacred sanctuary of silence and water. Imagine walking slowly along the stone path that encircles the fountain. Each step is unhurried. Each step brings more peace. The cool stone beneath your feet grounds you, connecting you to the earth, steady and sure. The arches above frame the stars like painted windows of the sky, each curve leading your gaze gently upward, inviting wonder without urgency. Pause near the garden beds. Lean in close. You can smell the faint sweetness of lavender, its blossoms resting calmly in the moonlight. Hail that fragrance deeply, letting it carry serenity into every part of your being. With each breath, you are lighter. With each breath, you are freer. Now, return your attention once more to the fountain. See how the candlelight from a nearby lantern flickers against the water's surface. The flame dances, mirrored in liquid gold, while the water's ripples soften it, stretching it, reshaping it into endless patterns. It is like watching time itself slow and bend, reminding you that here, in this moment, you have nowhere to go, nothing to do except rest. Let yourself breathe with the fountain. When it rises, breathe in. When it falls, breathe out. Feel how naturally your breath begins to match its rhythm. No effort, no strain. Just the flowing ease of life moving through you. The cloistered garden is now a part of you. The arches, the tree, the lavender, the soft stone paths all live inside your memory, ready to return whenever you need peace. And always at the center, the fountain waits, bubbling softly, guiding you back into stillness. You are drifting now deeper and deeper into calm. The fountain's song is your lullaby, steady, endless, eternal. As you listen closely, the fountain's rhythm begins to feel like a whisper from another time. Monks once gathered in spaces like these, their sandals brushing lightly over the stone, their voices hushed in prayer. The cloister was not only a garden, but a circle of quiet. A sanctuary designed so that every path curved inward, guiding the heart back to stillness. Even now, centuries later, you can sense that same intention, the walls cradling you, the arches shielding you, the fountain breathing peace into your soul. Our story today continues beneath the gentle watch of the moon, where the air is cool and fragrant. Imagine the touch of the evening breeze brushing against your face, carrying with it the scent of herbs that monks tended for healing. Rosemary, mint, and thyme, grow quietly in their beds, their leaves trembling faintly, as if sighing with relief that another day has ended. You find a stone bench, worn smooth by time, waiting in the shadow of the fountain. Sit down slowly, feel the weight of your body sink into its surface. It is cool at first, then warms gently as you rest upon it, grounding you even deeper into the earth's embrace. From here, you can see the fountain's gentle arc of water rising, curving, and falling again, over and over, like a breath made visible. Notice how your shoulders begin to drop, how your hands grow still, how your eyes soften. The rhythm of the fountain washes away every restless thought. Each drop that falls is like a tiny reminder. Release. Let go. Surrender. The water does not cling to its shape. It flows, adapts, and continues. So too can you. Now close your eyes if they are not already closed. Feel the fountain's sound as if it is not outside of you, but inside, flowing through your veins like liquid calm. With every heartbeat, with every inhale and exhale, you are in harmony with the fountain's eternal song. The world outside these cloister walls may be filled with noise, but her only quiet remains. The monks knew, and you know too, that peace begins within, carried on the softest of sounds, nurtured by the gentlest of waters. Listen more closely now and notice how the fountain's song has layers. There is the steady trickle at its base, the delicate splash of droplets as they meet the pool, and the soft, rounded echoes that seem to linger in the cloister's arches. Each sound overlaps and melts into the next, weaving together like a gentle lullaby. Our story today carries you deeper into this garden of stone and water. Picture the cloister walls, arched corridors open to the garden on one side, lined with columns on the other. Their stone has been warmed by countless suns and cooled by countless nights. If you run your fingertips across their surface in your imagination, you would feel the faint roughness of carved patterns, softened by centuries of touch. The fountain at the center was not placed here by chance. Cloisters were designed as circles of reflection, where the garden represented paradise and the fountain symbolized life everlasting. Monks would pause here not only to pray, but to breathe, to remember that the rushing of the outside world always dissolves when faced with the eternal rhythm of water. Breathe with it now. Hail as the water rises, arcing toward the sky. Hold it for a moment, suspended in air, then exhale as the water falls, breaking into countless droplets that rejoin the pool below. Rise and fall, flow and release. Breath and water, perfectly entwined. The night grows deeper, and the stars above peek gently between the arches. Their glow is faint, but steady, like distant candles guiding you. Imagine that their light is reflected in the rippling pool at the fountain's base. Each star twinkles not only above, but also beneath, creating a mirrored heaven in the water at your feet. You find yourself swaying ever so slightly, lulled by the rhythm, as though your body has become part of the fountain's dance. The quiet garden has folded you into its stillness. Every muscle softens. Every thought loosens. And you realize there is no need to hurry. Here, time moves differently. The fountain will continue its song forever, and you are free to rest within it as long as you wish. As you linger in this cloistered garden, notice how silence itself takes on a texture. It is not empty, it carries the quiet presence of stone, of air, of water. The silence here is filled with patience, the kind that comes from centuries of listening, of holding space for those who sought peace within these walls. Our story today continues with the image of a monk, robed in simple fabric, moving slowly along the corridor that circles the fountain. His sandals brush the stone floor, the faintest whisper of sound. He pauses at each column, resting a hand on the cool surface, before returning his gaze to the bubbling water. For him, as for you now, the fountain is not just a decoration, it is a teacher. It reminds him of how everything flows, everything shifts, and yet the cycle continues. He bows his head and breathes deeply, inhaling the scent of damp stone and blooming herbs planted around the garden's edges. You too may notice those scents in your imagination. Perhaps lavender grows there, releasing its calming fragrance into the night air. Or rosemary, its sharp green perfume mingling with the mist of the fountain. These gentle aromas float toward you, weaving comfort into your breath. Nay, the monk carries no burden here, and neither do you. In this cloister, weight is set aside. The heaviness of thought, the clutter of the day, the restless pull of tomorrow, they all dissolve into the fountain's ripples. What remains is only presence, only stillness, only the soft conversation of water and stone. And so, let yourself imagine walking slowly beside him. Feel the smoothness of worn flagstones under your feet. Let the rhythm of your steps match the rhythm of the fountain's trickle. As you move, each step grows lighter, as though the ground itself is carrying you. When at last you sit again by the fountain, you notice how its sound has changed. Not because the water has shifted, but because you have. It no longer feels distant, something to listen to. It feels like part of you. The rise and fall of your breath, the gentle slowing of your heart, soft weight of your body, all have joined in harmony with the fountain's song. The fountain continues to bubble, each droplet falling as though it knows the path it must take. You lean closer now, watching how the arcs of water rise and break apart into a mist that lingers in the cool night air. Tiny beads of moisture rest upon your skin like morning dew, refreshing, delicate, almost like a blessing. Our story today deepens in this tranquil space. Beyond the fountain's circle, the cloistered garden stretches with its square of earth, neatly divided into beds. Some carry herbs, sage, thyme, and mint. Others bloom with flowers, not for show, but to remind the monks of beauty's quiet persistence. Imagine running your hands lightly across the leaves, feeling their shapes and texture, soft petals, spiky herbs, tender stems each, one alive under your touch. The sound of the water is joined by another presence. The faint stirring of night air. It moves gently through the arches, carrying with it the coolness of evening. As it brushes past you, it whispers against the leaves, adding its voice to the fountain's melody. Water and wind together create a natural harmony, like two old friends speaking in low tones. The monk you imagined earlier has settled on a stone bench nearby. He sits with hands folded, eyes closed, listening. And in this moment, you realize that he is not separate from you. He is a reflection of your own stillness, your own desire to rest, to breathe, to let the outside world drift away. His quiet meditation becomes your meditation. Breathe with him now. Inhale slowly, filling your chest. Hold that breath gently as though cradling it, then release, letting every exhale carry away tension. Again, breathe in with the fountain's rising water, and exhale with its falling, steady cascade. The rhythm is effortless. Overhead, the stars appear more clearly with each passing moment. Their light spills into the garden, soft silver against stone, shimmering in the rippling pool of the fountain. It feels as though the heavens themselves lean down, eager to be reflected in this sacred space. Their presence, calm and eternal, offers you another layer of peace. You are surrounded now by water, by air, by stars, by stone, and each one is keeping you safe, keeping you anchored, guiding you gently toward rest. The longer you rest beside the fountain, the more you notice that time has softened its edges.
Ow.
Minutes do not feel like minutes here. They stretch, fold, and dissolve like ripples across the pool. The sound of water striking stone becomes a steady thread that carries you beyond clocks and hours, into a space where only stillness matters. Our story today deepens as you picture the architecture around you. The cloister is shaped in perfect symmetry, its walkways enclosing the garden like a square frame. Each arch is matched by another, each column by its twin. This design was not by accident. It was created to remind those who walked here that balance and harmony could be found even in human hands, guided by devotion. As you sit beneath the arches, you feel this symmetry echoing within. Your breath finds balance. Your heart slows into steady rhythm. Imagine now the gentle drip of water echoing under the stone vaults. The fountain's song does not end at the pool it travels, bouncing softly across the arches, returning as a delicate resonance. The sound is familiar, almost like the heartbeat of the cloister itself. Close your eyes and hear it as if it were inside your chest, soothing, reassuring, timeless. Perhaps you notice the faint glimmer of candlelight from a nearby corridor where a monk may have left a lamp burning. Its glow does not disturb the night, but rather adds to its calm, like a star brought down to earth. That warm light flickers against stone walls, making shadows that sway slowly, gently like tall grass in the breeze. The air is cool but not cold. It wraps around you like a soft cloak, grounding you further in comfort. The scent of herbs, the The moisture of the fountain, the quiet hum of evening, each detail creates a cocoon of rest. And as you breathe, your body responds. Shoulders loosen, no longer carrying weight. Hands relax, unclenching. Your jaw softens, no longer holding words or effort. Even your thoughts begin to drift, like leaves floating gently on the fountain surface, carried effortlessly wherever the water chooses. The garden, the arches, the water, the stars, all invite you not to strive, not to hold on, but simply to be. The fountain bubbles steadily, and its rhythm feels as though it has always been here, waiting for you. Each droplet, as it falls, carries a whisper of calm, a reminder that release is as natural as flow. You may imagine the water not only filling the pool at its base, but also filling your inner space with clarity and ease. Our story today carries you further into the stillness of this cloister. Around the garden, the arches stand tall, silent witnesses to countless seasons, countless evenings just like this. They have seen pilgrims pass, monks kneel, and perhaps even weary travelers pause for breath. And now they stand around you, embracing you in their quiet permanence. Within these walls, you are safe. Within these walls, you can rest. The sound of the fountain begins to weave into your breath. Listen carefully. As the water rises, let your chest rise. The water falls. Let your breath flow out. Each cycle of the fountain becomes your cycle, endless and gentle. It requires no effort, it simply happens, naturally, peacefully. Beyond the arches, a faint breeze drifts in from the night. It carries the fragrance of earth after a long day of warmth. You can almost hear it rustling the leaves of nearby trees, adding its soft harmony to the garden's song. Somewhere far away, a night bird calls, its note brief and low, blending into the night like another thread of music. The monk from earlier remains seated on his bench. His posture is still, yet his presence feels full. He does not move, yet the peace within him radiates outward, touching the fountain, the arches, the stars, and even you. Perhaps you realize he is not just sitting with the water, he has become like the water. And perhaps in this moment, so have you. Every part of you is slowing, settling. Thoughts that once stirred like restless winds now drift to stillness. Muscles soften the way earth softens after gentle rain. Even your heartbeat has fallen into the rhythm of droplets falling one after another, steady, timeless. The cloister's fountain has claimed you in its song not as a prisoner, but as a cherished guest, someone who belongs in this circle of calm. The night around you deepens, yet it does not feel heavy. Instead, it feels like a blanket woven from starlight, water, and quiet air that settles gently over the cloister. A fountain continues its soft conversation, and you realize that you could sit here forever, listening, without ever needing to move. Our story today unfolds further. Imagine the garden in the daylight that has passed. Monks walking slowly, up, perhaps reading scripture or tending to herbs. Their sandals scuffed against the same stones you now sit upon. Their voices, when spoken, were soft, for this place was never meant for noise, but for whispers, prayer, and reflection. The fountain then, as now, was the heart of the cloister, its song steady and faithful. And now, under the stars, it keeps singing for you. Breathe in with the fountain. Feel the coolness of night enter your chest. Hold it just for a moment. And then let go, as the water lets go, flowing down into the pool, returning to stillness. Each breath is like another ripple in the water, gentle, expanding, fading into peace. The arches frame the sky above, and you look upward through their stone embrace. The stars seem brighter now, almost close enough to touch. You imagine tracing constellations with your eyes, the way a monk might have done centuries ago, mapping the heavens while listening to this very fountain. The night sky becomes another kind of garden, one of light, infinite, serene. The herbs nearby add their voices to the night. Lavender sways, rosemary leans, and mint releases its freshness. Together, their scents mix with the fountain's mist, wrapping you in a fragrance both grounding and uplifting. Each inhalation feels like a gentle cleansing, as though the garden itself is tending to you, the way monks once tended to its plants. The monk on his bench still sits in silence, a silhouette in the dim glow of starlight. He does not disturb you, he simply shares the stillness. His presence is a reminder that peace can be found not in doing, but in being. And as you sit beside him, you too discover that stillness is not emptiness, is fullness, rich with calm. The fountain keeps flowing, its endless rhythm guiding you further inward, deeper into rest. The sound of the fountain is softer now, not because it has changed, but because you have drifted closer to its rhythm. Each droplet feels like a note in a lullaby, falling in perfect time, easing you further into stillness. The garden, the arches, the stars, they all lean toward the fountain, as though the entire cloister breathes with its song. Our story today lingers here, in the quiet heart of night. Imagine the stone benches surrounding the fountain, smooth from countless years of use. Perhaps you run your hand along their cool surface, feeling how many lives have paused here, how many moments of silence have been shared. You're part of that unbroken chain now, another presence added to its story. Above, the arches create frames for the night sky, each one offering a slightly different picture. One frames a cluster of stars, another holds the faint arc of the moon. You find comfort in this symmetry, the balance of stone and sky, of earth and water, of body and breath. Take a slow inhale now, as though you are drinking in starlight itself. Feel it gather gently in your chest. Hold it there, glowing softly inside you. Then exhale, letting the light spread, filling the garden around you. Your breath has become part of the atmosphere here, mingling with the water's mist and the night's cool air. The fountain-esque rhythm matches your body so closely that you may not notice where it ends and where you begin. The rise and fall of droplets, the expansion and release of breath. The slowing of thoughts all are one rhythm, seamless and natural. The monk remains nearby, still and serene. In the quiet of your imagination, you may hear him whisper a prayer. Though the words are so soft they merge with the sound of water, it does not matter what he says. The prayer is not meant for language, it is meant for silence, for peace, for rest. The herbs around the fountain sway gently as the night breeze returns. Their fragrance grows sweeter, mixing with the damp stone and water. You breathe it in, and it feels like comfort, like safety, like surrender. And so, with every breath, with every droplet, you drift deeper into the timeless song of the Cloistered Garden Fountain. The night is still, and the fountain carries on, steady as ever. Each ripple spreads outward across the pool, widening in soft circles until it touches the edges and vanishes. You realize this is how peace works. It begins at the center and gently expands, reaching everything it touches, even you. Our story today settles further into this cloistered garden. Imagine the moonlight falling gently upon the water. It turns the surface into liquid silver, where every droplet becomes a star reborn. The reflection wavers and shifts, but never disappears. The moon above and the water below mirror one another, reminding you that calm exists both within and without. The cloister itself seems to hold its breath. The arches rise like guardians, framing the garden in silence. They are strong, ancient, dependable. When you lean back against one, you feel its cool stone press against you, firm and reassuring. This place has endured centuries of seasons, storms, and passing lives, yet it remains steady. And by resting here, you too share in its strength. Breathe in again with the fountain. Feel the cool mist touch your face, your shoulders, your chest. Imagine it entering your lungs, refreshing and cleansing, washing away what is heavy. Then breathe out, letting all that no longer serves you dissolve into the night air, carried away on the fountain's endless rhythm. Somewhere in the distance you hear the faint creak of a wooden door. Perhaps another monk has entered, or perhaps it is only the garden shifting in its sleep.
Oh.
The sound fades quickly, blending into the music of the water. Everything returns to quiet. The herbs at the garden's edge glow faintly in the moonlight. Lavender's pale flowers, rosemary's sharp leaves. Mint's soft stems all seem to bow toward the fountain, as if in reverence. Their fragrance rises stronger now, soothing your senses, inviting your body to rest even more deeply. The monk on his bench lowers his head slightly, as though offering a blessing. His presence is calm, his breath slow. You may even imagine sitting beside him, your hands resting in your lap, your own breath matching his. There is no need for words between you. The fountain speaks for both. And in its song, you find only stillness, only peace. The fountain continues its patient rhythm, drop after drop, ripple after ripple, reminding you that rest is not something to chase, it is something to allow. Just as water flows naturally, so too does calmness flow when you give it space. And here, in this cloistered garden, you have all the space you need. Our story today guides you deeper into the quiet heart of the night. The stars overhead shine more brightly now, their light reflected in the water's surface. You notice how the ripples bend and stretch their reflections, creating patterns like delicate threads of silver weaving across the pool. If you gaze long enough, you may even imagine constellations shifting gently, carried by the fountain's song. The cloister around you seems alive in its stillness. The arches hum faintly with echo, as though they too are breathing. The flagstones beneath your feet feel grounded, solid, ancient, anchoring you to the earth, even as your mind drifts freely among stars and water. Close your eyes now, and picture the fountain's sound not just as something outside of you, but as something inside. Hear it as a rhythm in your chest, a gentle, endless trickle that flows through every part of you. Let it wash through your shoulders, loosening them, through your arms, softening them, through your legs, heavy and warm, through your thoughts, quieting them until they drift like leaves across the water. In the distance, a night breeze stirs again, brushing past the garden's herbs. It carries the faintest rustle of leaves, adding another layer to the symphony. Lavender soothes, rosemary clears, mint refreshes, all blending into the night air you breathe in slowly, deeply, fully. The monk remains a quiet figure on his bench, his presence steady as stone. Perhaps he opens his eyes for a moment, glancing at the fountain, then closing them again, his lips moving silently in prayer. You do not need to hear the words. They are not for the ear, they are for the heart. And in some way, you feel included, as though the peace of his prayer flows through the water and into you. And as the fountain continues, you sense that you too are being held, guided, and blessed by its endless soothing song. The longer you sit by the fountain, the more its rhythm becomes inseparable from your own. Each rise of water feels like your breath rising. Each fall feels like your breath releasing. Slowly, steadily, effortlessly, you are being drawn into perfect harmony with this garden of stone, water, and night. Our story today rests in the hush between sounds. Notice how the pauses are as important as the trickles. The brief silence before the next droplet falls holds a kind of anticipation, like the world gently waiting. In those small gaps, you feel your body sink further into rest, held softly by quietness itself. The stars above glimmer faintly through the cloister arches. Some are bright, some barely visible, but all are patient, watching. Their light is steady, unwavering, just like the fountain. If you allow yourself, you may imagine reaching up to gather one of those stars, placing it carefully in the pool. The reflection would ripple, stretching into patterns of light, as though the heavens themselves had joined you in meditation. The air carries with it the sound of distant owls. Their calls are low and slow, blending with the water's rhythm like a second lullaby. The herbs stirred gently in the night breeze, releasing their fragrances into the air, scents so delicate they seem to dissolve before you can name them. And yet you feel their effect. Calmness deepens, thoughts grow lighter, your body softens further. The monk on his bench breathes steadily, his face calm, eyes closed. His stillness reassures you. There is no rush here, no urgency, no demand. Only presence. Only the quiet knowing that rest is sacred. His posture, his breath, his silence will invite you to share in that same sacred rest. Imagine yourself now leaning back, feeling the coolness of stone against your shoulders, while the sound of the fountain fills your ears. You are safe here. You are sheltered here. The arches embrace you. The water soothes you. The night sky watches over you. And as the fountain's ripples expand outward, you feel your own sense of peace expanding too gently, steadily until it surrounds you completely, like the cloister walls surrounding the garden. The fountain continues its gentle work, drop by drop, ripple by ripple, as though it has been whispering its song for centuries. You notice how each ripple begins small at the center, then stretches outward in widening circles, touching every corner of the pool before vanishing into stillness. Much like the rhythm of your own rest, beginning deep within, then spreading outward, until your whole body is embraced by calm. Our story tonight carries you deeper into this cloistered sanctuary. The arches above, carved long ago by patient hands, seem to hum with memory. Each stone holds the echoes of countless quiet footsteps, of whispered prayers, of silent reflections. As you sit in this garden, you become part of that continuity, another soul welcomed into the long tradition of stillness. The garden itself feels like a living manuscript, written not in ink but in petals, leaves, and light. The lavender by the walkway leans gently toward the pool, as though listening. The climbing vines reach upward along the cloister walls, their tendrils curling like delicate letters. And in the soft moonlight, the rippling water resembles lines on a page, where nature has written a hymn of peace for those willing to listen. The air grows cooler, and with it comes a deeper stillness. The breeze slows, the herbs settle, the night sky stretches endlessly above. Even time itself seems to soften here. The seconds do not march, they drift. The hours do not demand, they rest. And in this garden, you too are free to let time fall away, to be held only in the present moment, where peace lives eternally. You breathe in, and the fountain breathes with you. You breathe out, and the garden sighs softly in return. The rhythm is perfect, effortless, balanced. Each breath carries you further into tranquility, as though you are descending gentle stone steps into the very heart of calm. The monk remains seated nearby, eyes closed, lips curved in a faint smile. He does not speak, for no words are needed here. His silence, like the fountain's song, is its own form of guidance. Through him, you learn that stillness can teach more than speech. Through him, you see that quietness itself is a form of wisdom. As you linger in the cloistered garden, a gentle awareness begins to blossom within you, understanding that the fountain is not merely water, nor stone, nor echo. It is a mirror that reflects the peace you carry within yourself, though perhaps you have forgotten it in the noise of the outside world. Here, it is revealed again, clear and shimmering, like moonlight caught upon water. The monk slowly opens his eyes, gazing softly at the fountain. His voice, when it finally comes, is quiet, almost like a breeze that barely stirs the leaves. "Do you see?" he whispers. "This fountain flows as the soul doesn't ceasing, ever moving, ever renewing. Even when you are weary, even when you feel still, within you, there is always this flow." His words ripple through you, as gentle as the water's surface. You realize that the bubbling spring is not just a part of the monastery, it is a part of the self, flowing without effort, sustaining without demand. The monk returns to silence, and again you are left with the harmony of water, stone, and breath. You let your gaze soften, unfocused, so that light and shadow blur together. In this softened vision, the fountain seems to glow from within. Its arcs of water resemble silver threads, weaving a tapestry of calm in the air. The cloister arches rise like protective arms, enclosing this garden in safety. The fountain remains at the center, much like a heart beating at the center of a chest. Each droplet is a pulse. Each ripple is a reminder. You are alive. You are whole. You are safe. You lean back slightly, imagining yourself sinking into a cushion of invisible hands. The earth supports you, the air cradles you, the water soothes you. The world outside, the noise, the rush, the endless tasks fades to a distant memory, irrelevant here. For now, the cloister is all that exists. The night continues to deepen. Stars shine above, faint and steady, like lanterns hung high in the heavens. Their reflections glimmer faintly in the pool below, so that it feels as though the fountain is drawing down fragments of the cosmos, inviting the sky to rest in its waters. The stars overhead glisten softly, their light mingling with the flickering glow of the monastery's lanterns. The fountain captures both the celestial and the earthly, holding them together in a perfect stillness. You notice how the ripples weave the reflections into gentle patterns, as though the universe itself were breathing with you. The monk tilts his head upward, his eyes lingering on the sky. "Do you know," he murmurs, his voice nearly lost in the fountain's bubbling song, "that cloisters were made for stillness like this? Their very walls are designed to invite contemplation. Walk here is not just to cross stone, but to cross into the interior world." He gestures lightly toward the fountain, toward the shadows of the arches, toward the silent rhythm of the garden. "Every cloister is a circle," he continues, "a symbol of eternity, without end or edge. And the fountain at its heart reminds us that eternity is not for it flows within us. Endlessly renewed, his words fade. And once again you are left in the presence of sound water meeting stone. Soft breezes threading between leaves, the faint rustle of a robe as he shifts. You breathe in slowly, allowing your body to echo this rhythm. Inhale with the rising arc of water, exhale with its fall. Inhale with the still pool, exhale with its ripples. The garden's scents drift gently on the air. Lavender, damp moss, the faint resinous fragrance of cedar beams. Each breath carries you deeper into calm, until even the boundaries of your body feel softened, expanded, as though you two are flowing outward in ripples. The monk resumes his silence, but his presence is steady beside you, as sure as the fountain's endless flow. You imagine the generations of pilgrims and seekers who sat here before you, listening, breathing, resting. Their quiet seems to linger in the stone itself, adding to the calm you feel now. Above, the stars appear more numerous as your gaze grows softer, the way night reveals itself slowly to patient eyes. Below, the fountain reflects them, as though drawing heaven down to earth. Between the two, you rest, suspended in harmony. The monk places his hand over his heart and bows slightly, acknowledging the fountain, the stars, and you. The fountain continues its song, never hurried, never forced. Each bubble rising to the surface feels like a whisper of reassurance, as though the water itself is reminding you. Everything has its rhythm, everything has its time. You let that thought settle, noticing how your body responds. Muscles in your shoulders loosen just a little more. Your breath deepens without effort. The garden seems to lean closer, its stillness enfolding you like a warm cloak. The monk remains quiet, yet his silence is not empty. It feels rich like the pause between notes in a melody, carrying as much meaning as the sound itself. You'll realize that here, in this cloister, silence is not absence, but presence. It is a companion. A breeze stirs again, threading through the arches, and it carries with it the faint perfume of blooming jasmine. The fragrance is subtle but sweet, mingling with the freshness of the water. You imagine how many evenings have smelled just like this, stretching back centuries? Pilgrims passing through, monks at prayer, visitors seeking rest, all breathing the same night air, all soothed by the same fountain's flow. You close your eyes for a moment. Behind your lids, the sound of water seems even clearer. You can picture its journey. Droplets rising, arching, falling, breaking into 1,000 smaller ripples. Each one carries away tension, dissolves the remnants of worry, clears space within. The monk finally speaks again, his tone soft as moss beneath bare feet. This fountain, he says, teaches without words. Its rhythm cannot be hurried, and yet it never fails. It reminds us that peace is not something we chase, it flows when we simply allow. You nod gently, even though your eyes remain closed. His words blend with the water, becoming less like instruction and more like part of the fountain's natural song. The night deepens. Stars grow sharper, their points of light mirrored in the pool below. You imagine each star as a breath, each breath as a ripple, each ripple as a star. An endless cycle, flowing gently between sky and earth, between you and the fountain. And so you sit, perfectly cradled in this cloistered garden, where silence and sound weave together in harmony. The fountain hums on, its liquid lullaby echoing against the carved stone walls. Each drop seems to carry with it not just sound but memory. You can almost imagine the water holding stories, fragments of prayers whispered long ago. Laughter shared in hushed tones, sighs of relief released by weary travelers who found rest here. The monk's eyes rest on the water, as though he, too, hears these silent stories. His breathing is deep, steady, matching the rhythm of the fountain. The cloister, he says quietly, was built as a circle of peace. It holds the world outside at a distance, allowing what is sacred to bloom inside. His hand gestures gently to the garden, to the arches, to the stars glimmering overhead. You notice how the arches frame the night sky like windows into eternity. Each arch is unique, yet together they form balance like breaths that flow in and out, one leading to the next. You let your own breath align with them, slow and circular, filling you with ease. The monk leans closer, his whisper barely above the water's murmur. When you listen deeply, you realize the fountain is not outside of you. Its rhythm lives within. Stillness is your stillness. His words trail off, but their meaning settles warmly in your chest, like a gentle flame. You open your eyes again and watch the play of reflections. The lantern light shivers across the ripples, painting the surface with liquid gold. Every wave of brightness glides into the next, a soft reminder that nothing stays frozen, yet nothing is truly lost. Movement itself is peace. Change itself is part of stillness. The breeze returns, softer this time, barely enough to stir the leaves of the jasmine vines. They sway slowly, releasing their perfume once more. You breathe it in deeply, feeling the coolness of night air cleanse and soothe you. Each inhalation feels like fresh water entering your being, each exhalation like ripples flowing outward, carrying away what no longer needs to remain. The monk closes his eyes, hands folded in his lap. His serenity radiates outward, blending with the fountain, with the night, with you. You realize you are not merely sitting by the fountain, you are becoming part of it. Its song is your song. Its peace is your peace. The night deepens, wrapping the cloister in velvety darkness. The lanterns glow faintly, their light subdued, almost reverent, as if they, too, honor the quiet of the garden. The fountain's steady bubbling is the center of it all, the heartbeat of the cloister, patient and timeless. You lean into that sound, letting it fill the spaces of your mind. Thoughts drift away like leaves on a current one by one. They loosen, float, and vanish into the pool's surface. The stillness that remains is not empty, but full, rich with peace. The monk opens his eyes and watches the ripples, his voice soft, as though woven directly into the rhythm of the water. In the old days, he murmurs, monks would walk these paths slowly, step by step, their thoughts anchored to the sound of the fountain. They believed that water could carry their prayers upward, just as it carries stars upon its surface. Each droplet a message, each ripple a blessing. His words spark your imagination. You see in your mind's eye robed figures gliding silently along the stone walkways. Their footsteps echoing softly, their gazes lifted toward the arches of heaven above. Each one paused at the fountain, listening, breathing, praying. The same water you now hear was once their companion, their teacher, their guide. You breathe in deeply again, matching your rhythm to the fountain's arcs. Inhale as the water rises, exhale as it falls. Inhale as the pool gathers it, exhale as it disperses outward. The cycle becomes seamless, effortless, like the beating of your own heart. A cool breeze slips through the cloister, carrying with it the faint, soothing scent of rain on distant stone. Though the sky is clear above, the air feels washed, fresh, as though nature itself had paused to breathe with you. The monk gently lays a hand upon the stone ledge of the fountain. When you sit here long enough, he says softly, you realize that this fountain does not belong to time, does not belong to yesterday or tomorrow. It only lives in the now. And so do you. His words dissolve into silence, leaving only the water's hymn, a sound that seems endless, eternal, flowing within and around you. The stillness of the cloister seems to deepen, as if the very air has learned to breathe in harmony with the fountain. You notice how the rhythm of water reshapes your awareness, slowing your thoughts, easing your heart, softening even the smallest tensions in your body. The monk sits quietly beside you, his presence steady but never intrusive. He seems as much a part of the garden as the arches and vines, rooted in stillness, blooming in silence. You realize that his teaching is not in words alone, it is in the calm that radiates from him. Like a candle whose flame quietly shares its light. The fountain gurgles, and the sound becomes more than water to your ears. It is like a lullaby sung by the earth itself. Each drop that splashes into the pool creates a ripple, and each ripple reminds you that even the smallest movements extend outward, touching everything. Nothing is wasted. Netterward. The monk opens his eyes slowly, gazing at the mirrored sky in the pool. He whispers how the stars above and the stars below appear the same. The fountain does not choose, it reflects both. It teaches us to hold what is above and what is within equally with gentleness. You follow his gaze, watching the glitter of starlight trembling in the ripples. The reflection dances, not fixed, but alive. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And in its movement, you sense beauty. Imperfection becomes perfection in motion, and you feel yourself soften into acceptance of everything yourself. Your past, your present. All of it belongs. All of it flows. The breeze stirs again, bringing with it the faint rustle of ivy clinging to the cloister walls. The sound blends seamlessly with the fountain's murmur, like a harmony woven through a melody. You inhale deeply, letting the freshness of night air fill your lungs, and exhale with a soft sigh that feels like release. The monk bows his head. The garden is a mirror, he says. It shows us what we already carry. Peace is not something we find here, it's something we remember here. As his words fade, the silence thickens once more, tender and full. The fountain flows, the stars shine, and you are at rest in both. The night has grown quieter still, as though the whole world has paused to listen to the song of the fountain. Even the breeze has softened, moving gently through the leaves, as if not to disturb the deep serenity of the cloister. You become aware of the faintest sounds, tiny droplets tapping against stone, the delicate rustle of fabric as the monk shifts slightly, the distant call of a night bird beyond the walls. Each sound enters your awareness like a soft note in a larger symphony, and together they create a tapestry of peace. The monk's voice rises again, low and soothing, like a current beneath the water's flow. Cloisters were made as circles of stillness, he explains, where each step around the courtyard could be a meditation, each glance at the fountain a reminder of the eternal. The monks walked slowly, not to reach an end, but to dwell in the journey. His words settle within you, drawing you into the rhythm of slow, circular movement. You imagine yourself walking those stone paths, tracing the perimeter of the garden. With each step, your shoulders lighten, your breath eases, your heart grows steady. Return again and again to the fountain at the center, its bubbling song greeting you like an old friend. The fountain reflects the lantern light, golden ripples shimmering out across its surface. You notice how each wave expands outward, gentle but unstoppable, touching every edge of the pool before folding back into stillness. This, too, is a teaching, that every action, no matter how small, carries outward. Every kindness you give, every breath of calm you cultivate, ripples into the world. The monk closes his eyes again, his head bowed in reverence. The water never asks if it is enough, he murmurs. It simply flows. That is its perfection. And so too are we enough when we simply are. The words strike something deep, but tender. You allow them to dissolve inside you, carried on the current of your breath. As you listen again to the fountain, you realize the garden is no longer just around you, it is within you, flowing through every part of your being. The night sky above is endless, jeweled with stars, yet it feels closer here in the cloistered garden. The arches frame the heavens in soft curves, each one like a window into infinity. The fountain mirrors this sky below, so that you sit between two worlds, the vast cosmos above and its shimmering reflection beneath. You breathe slowly, deeply, and notice how your chest rises and falls with the same rhythm as the water's arcs. Inhale as droplets rise, exhale as they descend. It feels as though the fountain is guiding you gently, aligning your body with the rhythm of the universe. The monk's voice is almost a whisper now, woven delicately into the silence. In every cloister, he says, the fountain is not just decoration, it is a teacher. It tells us to pause, to notice, to flow. Monks would sit for hours here, letting its song draw them inward, where the true stillness waits. His words make you feel as though time has dissolved. The hours of the day no longer matter. The ticking of clocks seems far away. All that exists is this moment, the bubbling water, the cool night air, the slow beating of your heart. A breeze stirs, gentle as a sigh, brushing over your skin. It carries the scent of the earth after sunset, fresh, grounded, slightly sweet. It mingles with the faint aroma of jasmine and lavender, calming every part of you. You feel as though the air itself is a balm, soothing and nourishing. The fountain catches your attention once more, its ripples now seeming to form patterns, circles within circles, always returning to the center. You realize that you too are returning to your center. Each breath, each moment here brings you closer to balance, closer to rest. The monk bows his head and places both hands over his heart. His silence speaks more than words ever could. You feel it in your own chest, a quiet echo reminding you of your own depth, your own peace. The water continues to flow, steady and endless. It reminds you that you are part of something timeless, that within you there is an unbroken stream of calm, always ready to return, always waiting beneath the surface. The lantern light flickers faintly, and the glow dances across the stone walls, softening the edges of the cloister. Shadows stretch long and delicate, moving in harmony with the fountain's ripples, as if the very light has chosen to flow like water. You find yourself sinking deeper into the rhythm of this place. The air feels heavier with calm, like a blanket laid gently across your shoulders. Your breathing is unhurried, smooth, and in tune with the bubbling song at the center of the garden. Each inhale draws in stillness. Each exhale releases what no longer serves you. The monk's voice rises again, quiet but steady, like a thread woven into the fabric of night. The cloister was built to be a circle, he says, a space without edges, a space that holds and shelters. Here, the fountain is the heart and the walls are the arms. When you sit here, you are embraced. You close your eyes for a moment, letting his words wrap around you. It feels true. The garden, the arches, the fountain, they hold you gently, the way a parent holds a child, the way earth holds every living thing. You are safe here, surrounded by peace. A soft breeze stirs the ivy on the walls, their leaves brushing against stone with the faintest whisper. The scent of moss and damp earth mingles with the air, grounding you further. You feel rooted, steady, connected to something ancient. The fountain splashes lightly, droplets scattering into tiny arcs before rejoining the pool below. You imagine each droplet as a blessing, falling just for you, returning you to wholeness. The sound is hypnotic, soft enough to soothe, steady enough to anchor. The monk lowers his head, his hands folded quietly. His silence deepens the sense of reverence in the air. The garden feels almost sacred, yet it is simple nothing but stone, water, air, and sky. The simplicity itself is its gift. You notice how even the smallest details, the shimmer of light on water, the hush of leaves, the fragrance of night become profound here. Everything belongs, and so do you. The fountain flows on, steady and timeless, as though it has always been, as though it always will be. The night air cools gently against your skin, carrying with it a softness that feels like a caress. Each breath you take fills you with calm, as though the very air of the cloister is infused with centuries of prayer, meditation, and quiet devotion. The fountain continues its eternal rhythm. Water rises, arcs gracefully, then falls back into the basin with a delicate splash, scattering ripples across the surface. The ripples widen slowly, evenly, until they disappear into stillness. Watching them, you feel your own thoughts echo the same motion arising, spreading, then fading gently into peace. The monk lifts his gaze toward the arches, silhouetted against the starry sky. Cloisters were designed as gardens of the soul, he whispers, his voice blending seamlessly with the sound of water. Every wall, every column, every fountain was placed to invite silence, so that the heart could listen. Not to the noise of the world, but to the deeper voice within. You follow his gaze upward, tracing the stone arches into the sky. Beyond them, the stars shimmer, steady and infinite. Each star seems to echo the fountain's droplets, tiny points of light cast into the vastness. Both sky and water are mirrors, reminding you that the infinite lives both above and within. The garden is so quiet that even the smallest sound becomes luminous. A single drop of water hitting stone, the brush of ivy leaves in the breeze, the soft hum of night insects hidden in the garden's corners. All of it weaves together into a gentle tapestry of sound, a lullaby that seems written for you. You lean back slightly, letting your body rest more fully into the bench or stone ledge. The support beneath you is cool, grounding, steady. It reminds you that you do not need to hold yourself. This place holds you. This peace holds you. The monk's eyes close again, his breath moving in harmony with the fountain, breathe with it, he murmurs softly. Let the water's rhythm be your rhythm. Flow, release, return. And so you do. Inhale as the water rises, exhale as it falls. With each cycle, your body grows lighter, your mind quieter, your spirit calmer. The fountain sinks on, steady and unending, a gentle guide into rest. The stars seem to drift closer, their reflections shimmering in the fountain's pool like jewels scattered across liquid glass. Each ripple bends the light, reshaping the stars into glowing patterns that glide across the surface. You watch them move, fascinated by their gentle dance, until your thoughts dissolve into the same slow rhythm. The monk breathes deeply, his posture straight yet relaxed, his presence calm as the water itself. He doesn't need to speak for you to understand. The lesson is already here, carried in sound and silence. In the fragrance of night, in the embrace of stone walls around the garden, the fountain bubbles again, droplets catching lantern glow, before falling with a soft musical splash. You imagine those droplets as tiny bells, chiming with every fall, creating an endless, delicate melody. The sound is simple, yet perfect, an eternal hymn, composed by water and time.
Oh.
Your own breath begins to sound like part of that hymn. Inhale, and it feels like water rising.
Exhale.
And it feels like water falling. The cycle is unbroken, soothing, natural. You realize you could stay in this rhythm forever, never rushed, never strained. The monk's voice finally emerges, as soft as the rustle of leaves. When the fountain flows, it reminds us that peace is not far away. It is always here. We only need to listen. His words are like droplets themselves, falling gently into the pool of your mind, sending ripples outward that touch everything within. You close your eyes, and the garden grows even more vivid in your imagination. You can see the fountain without seeing, hear it more clearly than ever. The scent of jasmine and moss feels stronger, the coolness of night air sharper. Every sensation slows, deepens, until you feel as though you've become part of the cloister itself. There is no hurry, no destination. Only this moment, unfolding like ripples, endlessly renewed. The fountain's song continues, unbroken. It has always been here, whispering to those who pause long enough to listen. Tonight you are among them, resting, breathing, becoming one with the gentle rhythm of flowing water. And as you breathe, you feel peace expanding outward, infinite as the stars above. The night deepens, and the cloister garden feels like a secret world suspended between time and eternity. The fountain's steady flow creates a gentle anchor, a reminder that even as hours pass, some rhythms remain unchanged, ancient and eternal. You notice how the water gathers in the basin, forming circles that stretch and fade, only to be born again. Each circle seems to mirror your breath, reminding you that calmness always returns, no matter how it drifts away. The monk slowly walks around the fountain, his footsteps soft on the worn stone. Each step is deliberate, as though he carries no weight of the world upon his shoulders, only the simplicity of presence. He pauses near a patch of ivy climbing the cloister wall. Its leaves glisten faintly in the lantern glow, their edges tipped with silver from dew. He brushes one gently with his hand, as if greeting an old friend, before returning to stand near the fountain's edge. You are reminded of the design of cloisters themselves, spaces meant not for noise, but for silence. They were built as squares or rectangles, enclosing gardens like this one, offering a sanctuary for reflection. The fountain, often placed at the center, was both literal and symbolic, a source of life. A reminder of balance, a guide to inner stillness. The water trickles again, and you imagine it whispering across centuries, carrying with it the voices of countless monks who once walked here. Their prayers and meditations, once spoken in hushed tones, seem to linger, merging with the bubbling rhythm of the fountain. The monk glances upward at the sky through the open arches. Stars scatter themselves like seeds across the velvet night, and you find yourself drawn into their quiet brilliance. The vastness of the heavens feels less overwhelming here, softened by the closeness of the cloister walls and the nearness of the fountain's song. You breathe in again, slow and deep. The scent of stone warmed by the day still lingers faintly, blending now with the cool freshness of night. Each inhale seems to fill you with peace. Each exhale seems to release tension you no longer need. And through it all, the fountain continues, its voice steady, soothing, eternal. The fountain whispers on, a quiet thread of sound weaving through the fabric of the night. Its voice is patient, steady, and endlessly gentle, though it has no purpose other than to remind you that calm is always within reach. Each droplet that falls into the basin sends out ripples. And you imagine those ripples as soft waves of relaxation spreading through the garden, through the cloister walls, and into your own heart. The monk lowers himself onto a stone bench beside the fountain. His robe folds around him like the petals of a flower at rest. He closes his eyes, and for a moment, the silence between water drops grows even more profound, as though the world itself is pausing in quiet reflection. You notice how the arches of the cloister frame the night. Each arch opens like a window to another world, one to the north, where the dark outline of hills rises gently against the horizon. One to the east, where the moonlight falls directly into the garden, painting silver across the grass. One to the south, where ivy climbs high, softening the geometry of stone with its living green. Each view feels like a painting, carefully chosen, perfectly placed. The fountain ties them all together. Its bubbling water becomes the heartbeat of the cloister, steady and calm, reminding you to let your own breath match its rhythm. Inhale with the rising arc of water. Exhale as the droplets fall and scatter. Soft breeze stirs, carrying with it the faint fragrance of herbs from a nearby garden bed: sage, lavender, and perhaps a trace of rosemary. These plants, tended carefully by the monks, are not only for cooking, but for healing, for soothing both body and spirit. Their presence mingles with the sound of water, creating a tapestry of sensations that wrap around you like a warm cloak. The monk opens his eyes, gazing into the fountain's basin. His reflection shimmers there, broken and reformed by the ripples. It is a gentle reminder. Our own image, our own identity, may shift and waver. But beneath the surface, we remain whole, constant, and at peace. The water continues its song, steady, eternal, soothing. The night deepens, yet the garden does not grow darker, it softens. Shadows blend seamlessly with moonlight, until the entire cloister feels like a dream painted in silver and charcoal. The fountain's voice continues its gentle rhythm like a lullaby that never ends, flowing through time with neither haste nor pause. You let yourself imagine the monks who walked here centuries ago, robes brushing against stone floors, sandals quiet on the worn paths. Perhaps they too sat here, listening to the fountain, as you do now, breathing slowly, finding rest in the endless song of water. The cloister was built for this architecture of peace, carefully designed to nurture the inward spirit. Cloisters often formed a square, a living courtyard at the center of a monastery. At its heart, there was often a fountain or garden, a symbol of paradise restored, a reminder of calm that could be found in the stillness of nature. Here, stone and water, plant and air were brought together to create harmony. Every drop of water was not only a sound, but a meditation, calling the soul back to balance. The monk folds his hands together and bows his head. His prayer is silent, but you sense its shape in the air, something tender, something humble, rising with the same rhythm as the water's droplets. It is a prayer without words, a quiet presence rather than a request. The leaves rustle faintly, as though they too are breathing along with you. A breeze moves through the cloister, brushing against the columns, slipping across the surface of the water. The fountain answers with its gentle bubbling, and the sound seems to fill every corner, wrapping the night in calm reassurance. Now, as you breathe, your body feels lighter. Your shoulders release their weight. Your thoughts begin to drift, like petals carried downstream. There is nothing to solve, nothing to grasp. The water teaches you. Let go, flow, return, again and again. Above, the stars emerge more clearly. They shine through the open arches, distant yet steady, like tiny lanterns placed just for you. Their quiet brilliance joins the song of the fountain, and suddenly sky and earth, stone and water, sound and silence all are one gentle embrace. The fountain's song carries you deeper into peace. The fountain trickles on, timeless and unchanging, and with each passing moment, it feels as though you are dissolving into its rhythm. Drop after drop, The water reminds you that even the smallest sound can bring infinite calm when it is steady and true. In the dim light, the garden glows faintly, touched by moon and shadow. The soft green of leaves, the pale stone of columns, and the shimmering surface of water seem to melt into one another. Nothing is harsh here. Every edge is softened, every sound hushed. Even the silence is alive, breathing, flowing, shimmering around you. A gentle thought drifts to mind. Cloisters were not merely gardens, but sanctuaries of the heart. Monks would walk here to meditate, to read, or to whisper prayers in the cool air. The sound of the fountain was their companion, steady through seasons of rain and sun, through days of quiet labor and nights of quiet rest. It offered them what it offers you now, a steady anchor, a reminder that the soul, like water, can always return to stillness. You breathe slowly, letting each inhale be cool and spacious, each exhale soft and releasing. The water seems to join your breath, a rhythm shared between you and the garden. The bubbling at the center of the fountain is like the rise of breath in your chest. The fall of droplets is like the exhale, emptying into peace. The monk lingers by the edge of the fountain, tracing his fingers gently along the stone rim. The touch is reverent, almost as though he is greeting an old friend. Perhaps for him, the fountain is not merely water, it is memory, prayer, and silence all woven together. He closes his eyes and you close yours too, sharing the stillness. When you listen deeply, you begin to notice subtle layers of sound. The faint drip of water falling into the basin. The soft rustling of leaves stirred by unseen winds. The low hum of the night. And beneath it all, the endless hush of quiet itself. Each sound folds into the next, until you cannot tell where one ends and another begins. The garden, the fountain, the night all are one. And you too belong to this oneness, gently dissolving into rest. The night wraps itself around the cloister like a soft cloak. You can almost feel its fabric against your skin, cool and silken, carrying the faint fragrance of stone warmed by the sun earlier in the day, now giving back its warmth to the night air. The fountain hums gently, a sound so constant it feels eternal. You let your eyes soften. Perhaps they close, or perhaps they simply rest half-lidded, gazing at the play of light and shadow as moonlight ripples across the water's surface. The circles expand outward, gentle, widening, fading like thoughts drifting away into silence. Every ripple that dissolves upon the edge of the basin mirrors the way your worries melt, fading back into stillness. The monk moves slowly, as though he too has aligned himself with the rhythm of the fountain. His sandals brush the flagstones in soft, measured steps. He passes beneath the arches, and for a moment his figure becomes part of the shadowed pattern of stone and moonlight. Then he returns to the fountain, his presence never disturbing the hush, but joining it, deepening it. Cloisters, by design, were made for this. The square plan, the enclosed walks, the open courtyard. They were spaces of balance where movement and stillness coexisted. Even the fountain at the center was more than decoration. It was a symbol of life flowing inwards. A reminder that nourishment and peace could spring from a quiet heart, and here, you feel it too. You breathe in, and the air feels like the fountain's cool spray, refreshing your lungs. You breathe out, and your whole body sinks more deeply into rest, as though you are reclining upon the very stones, warmed, safe, and supported. The leaves sway gently overhead. Somewhere a night bird sings once and falls quiet, leaving its song to linger in the air like incense. The fountain's droplets continue to fall, each one a beat of light, each one a note in an unending lullaby. As you rest here, you realize there is nothing to do, nothing to reach for. The water flows without effort, and so do you. Each moment is already whole, complete, perfect in its quiet simplicity. The fountain whispers, "Be still, and you are enough." The night grows deeper, yet the fountain's voice never falters. Its rhythm remains delicate and sure, as though it has been singing since before time began, and will continue long after. You lean into its sound, letting it cradle you the way waves cradle a drifting boat, rocking ever so gently toward rest. The arches of the cloister frame the sky, where stars shimmer like pearls scattered across velvet. Through these openings, the heavens look close enough to touch, and the fountain beneath seems to echo them, tiny drops of liquid stars falling into its basin, Water and sky are twins, tonight one flowing, one glowing. The monk seats himself by the fountain now, folding into stillness as naturally as a stone belongs to earth. His presence adds weight to the quiet, a reminder that silence itself can be a prayer. He does not need to speak, for the bubbling water speaks in his place. The sound tells stories of constancy, of renewal, of the infinite circles traced in nature's design. As you watch him, you realize he is not only listening to the fountain, but breathing with it, his chest rising as the water swells, his shoulders falling as the droplets return to the pool. You join him without effort. Inhale, cool and steady. Exhale, soft and releasing. Again and again. With each cycle, your body loosens further, the last traces of tension flowing away into the night. The cloister itself seems alive now. The stone pillars hum quietly with the vibration of stillness, as though they have absorbed centuries of whispered prayers. The garden plants sway like gentle dancers in slow motion, each leaf brushing the air with grace. Even the shadows shift with purpose, weaving together a tapestry of calm that wraps itself around you. The fountain, at the heart of it all, continues its song. Its voice is layered tiny splashes, low trickles, soft bubbling. The more you listen, the more it feels like a symphony of rest. Not a single note is hurried, not a single sound is sharp. Everything flows in perfect harmony, calling you deeper into peace. The water seems to murmur, just for you. Rest now, drift now, let go. Night grows deeper, yet the fountain's voice never falters. Its rhythm remains delicate and sure, as though it has been singing since before time began and will continue long after. Lean into its sound, letting it cradle you the way waves cradle a drifting boat, rocking ever so gently toward rest. The arches of the cloister frame the sky, where stars shimmer like pearls scattered across velvet. Through these openings, the heavens look close enough to touch, and the fountain beneath seems to echo them, tiny drops of liquid stars falling into its basin. Water and sky are twins, tonight one flowing, one glowing. The monk seats himself by the fountain now, folding into stillness as naturally as a stone belongs to earth. His presence adds weight to the quiet, a reminder that silence itself can be a prayer. He does not need to speak, for the bubbling water speaks in his place. The sound tells stories of constancy, of renewal, of the infinite circles traced in nature's design. As you watch him, you realize he is not only listening to the fountain, but breathing with it, his chest rising as the water swells, his shoulders falling as the droplets return to the pool. You join him without effort. Inhale, cool and steady. Exhale, soft and releasing. Again and again. With each cycle, your body loosens further, the last traces of tension flowing away into the night. The cloister itself seems alive now. The stone pillars hum quietly with the vibration of stillness, as though they have absorbed centuries of whispered prayers. The garden plants sway like gentle dancers in slow motion, each leaf brushing the air with grace. Even the shadows shift with purpose, weaving together a tapestry of calm that wraps itself around you. The fountain, at the heart of it all, continues its song. Its voice is layered tiny splashes, low trickles, soft bubbling. The more you listen, the more it feels like a symphony of rest. Not a single note is hurried, not a single sound is sharp. Everything flows in perfect harmony, calling you deeper into peace. The water seems to murmur, just for you. Rest now, drift now, let go. The air feels heavier now, not with burden, but with comfort, like a soft blanket being laid across your shoulders. The night folds itself around you as gently as a caretaker, tucking someone into bed. And still at the center, the fountain hums, its voice never wavering, never tiring. You can almost imagine the sound of each droplet as a clock that does not measure hours, but peace. Not seconds ticking by, but moments of stillness expanding, one after another, into infinity. The water does not rush, does not strive. It simply flows, teaching you how to rest in the same way, without effort, without demand. The monk's head tilts upward now, his gaze resting on the stars framed by the cloister arches. His lips part in the faintest whisper, not of words, but of breath itself, like a sigh carried upward toward the heavens. You find yourself following his gaze, your eyes tracing the constellations, the glowing patterns stretched across the sky. Perhaps you think of how, centuries ago, monks mapped the stars, wrote them carefully into manuscripts, or used them as markers for time and prayer. Yet here, tonight, no mapping is needed. The stars themselves are enough silent, steady companions, reflecting their light upon the fountain below. Heaven above, water below, and you resting between them, like a bridge of calm. Your breath deepens. Each inhale feels like cool night air flowing into you. Each exhale feels like ripples spreading out across the fountain's surface. With every breath, you dissolve further into the rhythm of water and silence, until even your heartbeat seems to echo its song. The leaves overhead stir again, their soft rustling a counterpoint to the fountain's bubbling voice. Together, they weave a lullaby older than memory. The hush of air, the song of water, the sigh of stone cooling under the night sky. You sense that if you closed your eyes fully now, the garden would remain, holding you gently. The fountain's song carrying you deeper into dream. The world beyond the cloister fades no tasks, no burdens, no noise. Only this moment, only this flow. The fountain whispers its eternal truth. Rest, release, return. The silence of the cloister is not empty, it is full, brimming with the presence of water, air, and stone. The fountain carries its soft voice into every corner, a constant companion to the night. You lean into it as if it were a trusted friend, knowing it will never leave you, knowing its rhythm will hold you steady. The monk remains by the fountain's side, his stillness as deep as the water's pool. He is not waiting for anything, not seeking anything. He simply is, and that is enough. His example becomes your own. You too no longer reach or strive. You rest in the truth of this moment, whole and undivided. You picture the cloister as it was centuries ago, monks pacing slowly under the arches, hands folded within wide sleeves, voices hushed in quiet exchange. The fountain was here then as well, its sound threading through prayers, thoughts, and silences alike. It is as though the water itself has listened to generations of hearts, carrying their stillness within its flow. Tonight, you share in that same stillness, as if you have stepped into a timeless circle. The arches rise around you like gentle arms, embracing the courtyard. The garden at the fountain's edge breathes with life-fragrant herbs, small flowering plants, soft grass glistening with dew. Each element contributes to the calm. Even the night air, cool against your face, feels like part of the same living symphony. You breathe deeply, letting your lungs fill with the sweetness of earth and stone, and then release, emptying yourself into the sound of the fountain. Inhale, the world enters you. Exhale, you return it with peace. Slowly, naturally, endlessly. The water bubbles, droplets leaping for a moment before falling back into their home. And in this cycle, you hear a lesson. Everything rises, everything returns. Nothing is lost, only transformed. And so it is with your thoughts, with your body, with your breath. Each moment rises, and each one dissolves, leaving only the calm of now. The stars watch quietly through the open sky. They shine, patient and eternal, as the fountain murmurs below. And between them, your soul drifts, gently, weightlessly, into deeper rest. The fountain continues its steady rhythm, a lullaby woven from liquid silver. Each droplet that falls into the basin feels like a soft touch upon the heart, reminding you that you are safe, you are cradled, you are held. Time stretches and dissolves. In this cloistered garden, there is only the eternal present. No, the monk, still seated by the fountain, seems to merge with the scene around him. His breathing, the fountain's song, the rustle of leaves all flow together until they are indistinguishable. He does not command silence, he becomes silence. He does not demand stillness, he becomes stillness. And as you sit with him, you two begin to merge with that same quiet essence. The cloister itself seems to hum with life, though no words are spoken. Each stone has absorbed centuries of prayers. Each archway has witnessed countless dawns and dusks. Tonight, those memories are not heavy but light. rising like faint incense, weaving through the air. The fountain, always present, carries those echoes into its bubbling rhythm. You imagine walking slowly beneath the arches, your hand trailing lightly against the cool stone. Each step feels measured, unhurried, as though the garden itself encourages you to move only with the rhythm of your breath. When you reach the fountain again, its soft spray greets you like an embrace, a cooling mist across your skin. Cloisters were built to be gardens of the soul, places where the mind could find clarity and the heart could find peace. This one, with its central fountain, is like a living meditation. Every sound, the drop of water, the whisper of leaves, the faint murmur of nightbirds becomes a mantra, repeating itself until it becomes part of you. The monk dips his fingers lightly into the basin, lifting water into his palm. The droplets catch the moonlight before slipping back, as if reluctant to leave his touch. You imagine doing the same cool water against your skin, refreshing, cleansing, reminding you that you too are part of this eternal flow. And so you breathe deeper, lighter, freer. Each inhale opens the body like the arches of the cloister. Each exhale softens you into rest, as steady as the fountain's unbroken song. The night seems endless, yet it is not heavy. It is spacious, wide, and gentle, like a sky stretched without boundary. The fountain continues to sing softly within it, a steady voice in a vast silence. Each droplet is clear, round, and pure, falling into the basin with such tender certainty that you begin to feel the same quiet confidence blooming within you. The monk closes his eyes, and in that gesture the entire garden feels as though it too has closed its eyes. The leaves sway slower, the stars shimmer with softer light, and even your own body begins to release the last threads of wakefulness. Closing the eyes here is not an end. It is an opening, an invitation to see with the heart instead of the gaze. The water rises and falls, endlessly patient. You imagine following a single droplet, watching as it leaps into the air, shines for a moment in the moonlight, and then returns home to the pool. Never resists, never fears, simply follows its path. And in watching it, you begin to feel that your own thoughts and feelings are droplets, rising and returning, always finding their way back into the calm basin of stillness. The cloister walls are steady around you, but they do not confine. Instead, they create a circle of sanctuary, a space where nothing outside can disturb you. Inside these arches, you are sheltered by stone, by silence, by water, by sky. You're held in balance, earth below, heaven above, and peace all around. You breathe. The inhale flows upward, cool and clear like water springing from its source. The exhale flows downward, steady and soft, like water falling back into its basin. The rhythm of the fountain has become your own rhythm now. You do not force it. You do not chase it. It is simply there, natural and unbroken. The monk folds his hands in his lap, and the gesture feels like a mirror of your own state. Complete, restful, whole. He sits as the fountain sings, and you sit with him, drifting deeper, as if your very being is becoming water, fluid, free, and endlessly at ease. The fountain whispers again. Be water, be still, be at rest. The garden feels timeless now, as though the clock of the world has slowed to the pace of a heartbeat to the rhythm of falling water. The fountain continues, faithful and calm, its song weaving through the silence like threads of silver stitching the night together. The stars above are countless, but they do not overwhelm. They are quiet companions, each one steady, each one content to shine softly through the arches of the cloister. Their light touches the fountain's surface, and in that reflection, sky and water become one above and below, infinite and intimate. You feel yourself in the middle of this harmony. Your body rests like the stone of the cloister floor, firm, grounded, steady. Your breath flows like the fountain's water, rising, falling, never ending. Your mind spreads like the open sky, vast, peaceful, free. The monk remains still, yet his presence radiates calm like the fountain radiates sound. He does not need to speak. His silence is eloquent enough. In that silence, you find the encouragement to let go of any lingering thought, any tension that still clings. Everything can return to the water. Everything can dissolve into rest. You imagine dipping your hands into the fountain, The cool water glides across your skin, washing away the day's burdens. As you lift your palms, droplets slip through your fingers, falling back with a soft splash. Each droplet becomes a little reminder. Nothing needs to be held tightly. All can be released, gently, peacefully, like water returning home. The plants along the edges of the courtyard sway gently as if nodding in agreement. Their fragrance rises subtly into the night herbs, blossoms, the faint earthy scent of damp soil. Each aroma is light, comforting, grounding you further in this serene place. You breathe deeply once more. Inhale, filling your chest with cool night air. The rhythm feels eternal now, inseparable from the fountain's voice. Every breath is a droplet. The world beyond the cloister has faded entirely. There is no past here, no future, only the song of the fountain and the soft embrace of night. The water continues to whisper, rest deeper, let go further, drift completely. The fountain's voice lingers like a lullaby, each bubble and fall of water weaving a cradle of sound around you. It is gentle, but steady like a guardian presence that promises to keep you safe as you surrender more fully to rest. The moon has shifted slightly in the sky, casting a softer angled glow across the courtyard. Silver light touches the archways, painting their stone curves with a tender shimmer. Shadows deepen where the moonlight cannot reach, but even the darkness here feels kind. A comforting blanket spread carefully over the cloister. In this space, you are invited to release even more. Perhaps your shoulders can drop just a little lower, sinking into the bed beneath you. Perhaps your eyelids feel heavier now, fluttering as though preparing to close. Your body knows how to rest, just as the fountain knows how to flow. Our story, like the rhythm of this garden, continues without urgency. It does not ask you to follow quickly. It simply invites you to walk slowly in the cool night air, hearing the gravel crunch beneath your steps, feeling the breeze brushing past your skin. The pace is unhurried. Time itself feels unhurried. You are free to linger, free to pause, free to drift. The cloister was built for this purpose, spaces where monks walked, prayed, and sat in stillness. The architecture was not only stone and arches, but intention, a desire to craft a world within walls where the heart could quiet. As you rest here, you are part of that same intention. You are within the sanctuary that was meant for silence, for reflection, for gentle peace. The fountain embodies that purpose too. Its bubbling stream has no sharp edge, no sudden rush. Instead, it speaks in small, rounded syllables, the language of relaxation. Here now, rest, breathe. Each drop is another phrase in that soothing language. Each ripple is another reminder to let yourself drift. The stars tilt slowly across the sky, their movement invisible but inevitable. You are not concerned with where they are going, nor with where you are going. In this moment, you are only here, resting, breathing, listening to water. The night deepens, and so does your calm. The night sky above the monastery seems endless, a dome of dark velvet pierced by tiny lanterns of starlight. As you breathe in slowly, you may imagine that each star is a gentle spark of thought, drifting quietly across your mind, only to fade away into the vastness of calm. The heavens themselves seem to sigh with stillness. The fountain continues its song, water falling in soft arcs that catch the moonlight before dissolving back into the pool below. You might notice the way the sound of the fountain layers upon itself, one droplet following another, rippling outward, blending into harmony. Much like your breath, each inhale follows the last, creating a gentle rhythm that is steady and grounding. Here in the cloister, the air carries the faintest scent of moss and stone, mingling with the sweetness of flowers that still linger from the day's sun. The petals have curled inward now, sleeping as you are meant to sleep. Their fragrance a reminder that rest is part of the cycle of all living things. Just as the blossoms close, you too can close, gently and naturally, without effort. The monks who once walked these pathways understood this rhythm of rest. They designed gardens like this one not for grandeur, but for harmony, for the simple meeting of water, air, stone, and green life. In their footsteps, you may imagine yourself slowing to their pace, each step lighter, softer, as though carried by the stillness itself. Beyond the fountain, arches frame pockets of shadow where ivy climbs quietly upward, reaching for moonlight. Even in silence, growth continues, or even in stillness, there is quiet movement. This is true for you as well, your body restoring itself as you sink deeper into rest, your mind weaving dreams even as it softens into silence. The cloistered fountain is not only watered, is a mirror for the inner world. Its ripples remind you that peace comes not from forcing calm, but from allowing it to arrive, to settle, to flow naturally. And so you allow it now. The sound of water, the breath of night, the silvered arches, all of these surround you like a cocoon of gentleness. You are safe. You are at ease. You are drifting. Take another slow breath, letting it expand gently within your chest. Then release it with ease, as though your breath itself were joining the fountain's quiet rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. Like water rising and falling, flowing endlessly without hurry. As you rest here, the garden seems to cradle you. The cloister walls form a circle of calm, sheltering you from the outer world, as if nothing beyond these stones exists. The world's noise, its urgency, its heaviness, they cannot enter here. What remains is only stillness, only gentleness, only the steady music of flowing water. You may imagine yourself seated upon a smooth stone bench beside the fountain. The coolness of the stone supports you, grounding you. The sound of droplets is close, so close. You can almost feel the tiny mists of spray that sometimes lift from the pool when the streams of water strike its surface. This mist carries freshness, carrying away anything heavy you no longer need. The monks who tended this fountain may have traced their fingers across the cool water before their evening prayers. They might have paused, watching the ripples expand outward, teaching them that even the smallest gesture reaches far beyond itself. Tonight, as you rest, you too may feel the truth of that your breath, your calm, your stillness, all ripple outward into your body. Your mind, your dreams, expanding into deeper ease. The arches surrounding the fountain create gentle echoes so that every drip, every splash is softened, layered, made fuller. It is as though the garden itself sings with the water, a hymn not of words but of sound and silence blended. Allow yourself to listen. Allow yourself to sink into this hymn. Beyond the arches, you may picture tall cypress trees silhouetted against the sky, their tips swaying faintly in the evening breeze. Each movement is subtle, quiet, like a lullaby written by the wind. The breeze brushes past your skin now, carrying coolness and calmness, a whisper to remind you that you are deeply safe in this cloister. The fountain continues without pause. Your breath continues without pause. Together, they create a rhythm, a lullaby, a path downward into rest. Let your breath deepen again, flowing like water into stillness. Each inhale is as though you are drawing the freshness of the garden into your body. Each exhale releases anything you no longer need, sending it gently into the pool of the fountain, where the water washes it away, endlessly cleansing, endlessly renewing. Our story today continues here, in this place of silence, where the fountain is not only a source of water, but a symbol of life, renewal, and reflection. Monks who once walked these cloisters believed that water represented purity of mind and heart. By sitting near its sound, they trained their thoughts toward clarity, toward peace. Tonight, you may do the same, simply by listening. Imagine the stars above beginning to glimmer, one by one, in the growing night. They shimmer faintly between the arches, as if the garden itself is open to the heavens. The fountain catches some of this starlight, scattering it across its ripples, turning each wave into liquid silver. You watch the light play upon the water's surface, ever shifting, never still, and yet so calming. Perhaps you notice how your body mirrors that same balance. Inside, there may be gentle movements, your heart, your breath, small adjustments as you rest, but overall there is peace. Just as the fountain surface is always changing, yet always steady, so too are you. You are steady in this moment, calm, grounded, present. Nearby, vines creep along the stone walls, their leaves dark in the evening light. A soft rustle stirs among them as a night breeze drifts through, carrying the faint scent of herbs from the monastery garden, lavender, rosemary, and mint. These fragrances mingle with the cool air, soothing you more deeply. With each inhale, your senses are invited into rest, into relaxation. The monks might have walked barefoot across these stones, feeling the cool touch beneath their steps, pausing to breathe as you are breathing now. They designed cloisters as sanctuaries of silence, believing that even in stillness, one could hear the voice of peace most clearly. Tonight, this same silence is here for you, holding you gently. The fountain's rhythm continues, soft, steady, timeless. Like a heartbeat within the cloister, like your own heartbeat within your chest. Together, they are one rhythm, guiding you softly downward into deeper calm. Let the sound of water guide you further inward now. Each drop, each ripple, is like a gentle reminder that time here moves differently, lowly, patiently, like a prayer whispered into eternity. The fountain does not rush. It never hurries. And so, you too may let go of urgency, of the need to move quickly. You may allow yourself to simply be, resting within the circle of calm this cloister offers. Our story today continues at the moment when night deepens. The garden grows darker, yet the fountain seems to glow softly, as though it contains its own inner light. The monks may have believed that this glow was the reflection of divine truth, subtle, quiet, always present for those willing to pause long enough to notice. Imagine yourself sitting at the fountain's edge. The stone is cool beneath your touch, grounding you in the present. The water trickles just beside you, so close you could dip your fingers in if you wished. Feeling the silk-like texture of coolness slide across your skin, it is refreshing, renewing, almost as if the water carries away heaviness, replacing it with ease. Overhead, the sky deepens into indigo. A crescent moon rises, slender and silver, casting a faint gleam upon the arches of the cloister. Shadows lengthen, merging into the quiet spaces where vines climb and flowers close for the night. The air is still, except for the gentle movement of water, the occasional rustle of leaves, and your own breath, calm and even now. Take another slow breath in and a soft breath out. Allow your body to feel heavier now, as though the garden itself is holding you. The earth beneath the stones, the walls of the cloister, the stars above all are supporting your rest. The monks would have used this space not only for reflection, but for balance. Cloisters were built as living circles open to the sky, enclosed by walls, and centered upon water. They represented harmony between the world outside and the world within. Tonight, you are seated in that same harmony, your inner world reflecting the calm outer world of this garden. Listen again to the fountain. Hear how it repeats itself endlessly, as though it is reciting a lullaby written by time itself. Each drop is a syllable, each ripple a phrase, and together they weave a song meant to soothe, to quiet, to bring peace.